All right, y'all. I'm back with another video. So the first two videos, right, I went over support and resistance. I probably won't do a long video for trend lines because they're real easy. All they are, they're just diagonal support and resistance. So pretty much the rule of thumb for me, two taps make a trend line, but the more taps you have, the better. And trend lines can be drawn on any chart, right? So you always want to know the trend on the market. Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Are we sideways, right? There's only two types of trend. You're either in a uptrend or you're in a downtrend. If you're sideways, you're just stuck in a range, right? And two trend lines can make a channel, right? If the two lines are the same length, you can make a parallel trend line. Well, channel, right? But regardless, all they are, they're just diagonal support and resistance. So as you can see right here on Home Depot, well, even this, I'm gonna just get rid of this. You know what? I'm gonna just because that's too easy. I'm gonna go to a random chart. I know I do low. All right, let's start on the weekly time frame. First, let's find the weekly trend line or the weekly trend. All right, just looking at this price action, just looking at it would truth be told, let's do a whole market. And well, we don't have to do pass. But just looking at current price, right? If you're looking at past, obviously, just use my eyes, there's a trend right here. How do I know that? Notice, look, price goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. So we're ranging. It's in a channel, right? And what did I say? Two trend lines, right? All I gotta do, draw this. I can paste it down if I really wanted to, clone it. Boom. It's parallel, right? And then look at this. Down, up, broke, up, came back down, bounced back up in it. Then what happened? Broke under it. But what did price do? The moment it broke under it, right? Buyer stepped in and it went right back to where? This trend line. And then where did it go? To the top of the trend line. And then from the top of the trend line, what did it do? It held it. So do you see what I mean? Like trend lines, they're good for confluence. And then when you combine them with levels of support and resistance, it's it's amazing. So like from this high right here, we broke above, right? Came back under, and then what happened? Not only did we reclaim this trend line, but we also broke this high and held it. So you can enter. There's two ways you can enter at the start of the trend line, right? Or oh my, or since or at the break of that high. And regardless, both are good entries, right? You just Like it's just like the best entry is the trend line, but the second best entry is the break of the high. And obviously, you just wait for this high to be broken, and you see how price is playing in that range. Look at that right here. Oh my, come on, right there. But you see like this zone. I call this like a trend zone, pretty much. It's a what's that tool at? There's a tool I use sometimes. Oh, this one. And all I do, boom, boom. Do you see what I mean now? I'm just doing math. That's all I'm pretty much doing. It's just math and geometry. Like that's all I'm doing. So now just looking at current price. So I gave you an example, right? Two sides make a trend line. You can draw a channel. So when it comes to higher time frames, right? If you're looking at the weekly time frame, oh, you always want to find a trend. Like, are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Just look at this chart, just based off lows, right? We are in an uptrend. Why is that? We're making higher lows and higher highs. And I'm gonna do a video over that over market structure. I should have done one over that first. But anyways, y'all got support and resistance down. Well, you should have it down, or you should have practiced. You should at least know what it is, right? So first, let's draw levels of support and resistance just based off the weekly time frame. Where's the overall level of resistance at? Just zooming in on current price. Let's just focus on current price. Where's the overall level of resistance at? And I'm talking about for current price here to here. I'm giving y'all a cheat sheet. So where's the overall high? What's the overall level of resistance that price needs to break? If you said 287.01, you're right, right? This high right here, this candle high, right? Price needs to break over that to make a new high. So just based off the weekly, we are in uptrend, right? Why is that? Higher lows, we start from this low. This low down here. What happened? This low right here, right? Higher low, right? Higher low, higher high, right? Higher low, higher high, right? We made this all-time high, and then what happened? Lower high, right? Because we broke this low. But then what did price do? Swept, right? Boom, 1, 2, came down, higher low, right? Higher high, break this range inside right here. Came back down, higher low, and now it looks like we want to make this all-time high and test 287.01 on lows. And just by looking at this, and just from this point up here, from this peak point, this peak height, where's the trend line? Like I said, trend lines are they're very subjective. But to confirm if this is an uptrend, all you have to do is from this low point, right? Watch. Watch this. What the? I just went to Starbucks. My mistake. Let me go back to Lowe's. Watch this. From this low point right here. Oh my. I'm just trying to zoom in. All right. All right. From this low point right here, this candlestick for Monday, all I have to do, 1, 2. When I see that second point, you just connect the first wick to the second wick and you extend the line. That's all I do. You don't have to extend it, but I like to extend it in the future because price will always come back and test that level. And you can see what the price do. Just based off these 2 points right here, what did price do? It came down and wicked it, and this is a valid level because not only did it come down wick, but buyers are in this red candle. Why? Because look at this red candle, right? This red candle came with this bullish engulfing candle, right? Left this giant wick, and then where did price somehow come down to grab more orders inside this red candle, which aligns where with our trend line. Now, if I make this box of color, I can see it's tapped this zone, right? It didn't go deep, but it pretty much tapped it, right? Tapped the trend line, popped back up, closed above, and what happened? Pushed up. So it went down to 218. So if you had this trend line out, and if you had this zone out, right? And if we knew that 211.8 is the overall support, right? And we're holding above, right? And if you saw this bullish engulfing candle and saw this swept, right, back in this range, and we broke to the upside, came back down, right? You are looking for that retracement. And where do we come back down to? Into this buying candle. And what did price do? The moment it tapped that area, right? 219, and we're right back up to 236. So if you had this drawn out already, and all you had to do was draw a trend line, draw the low getting swept, and then you just wait. Because truth be told, when price came back to the trend line I held, you would have entered right here. And you would have held it because you wouldn't, like a lot of new traders, I'm gonna keep it real. Y'all wouldn't have drawn out this zone right here because you want to understand it. Like y'all just be like, okay, this is a candle on the wick. But no, once you add volume to it, you know, okay, buyers are here. If there are buyers here, that means when price comes down, the odds of it going up increase, right? Not only that, but there's a trend line right here. Not only that, but we held above the low. Do you see how I'm using confluence to confirm? So the trend line just shows you, you know, which way price wants to go. Like it is diagonal support and resistance. If we hold a trend line, then expect price to bounce off of it and go to the upside, right? If we break a trend line, expect price to come back and retest it and trade to the downside, right? Trend lines are used to the upside and downside. So that's the downward trend. Then to the upside from this peak, I could draw one up. And I can show that too. From this low to high, right? What happened? 2 weeks. We broke above this trend line, came back down it, right? Hit this bottom trend line. Then what happened? Went back above this trend line, went sideways for a minute, and then where did price go? Boom, up. We took out this high right here, and we're holding above 274.98. So that's telling me just based off the week, I did this off the weekly. Just based on the weekly time frame, we hold this range. We're looking at 287. We're looking at a retest of this high, right? because we broke this downward trend line, right? Held by this upper trend line. So price is still in an uptrend. You see what I mean? If price was in a downtrend, then when price came up to here, price would have tanked. Price would have it would have went up here, and then immediately it would have just crashed and made a new low. But what happened? It went up here, it held, closed above, right? Went up higher. Is this area of supply up here, came back down, but this isn't really a short. It came back down for this for a retracement before it bounced to the upside, right? So trend lines, they're very useful, and you can draw them on any time frame. But I usually actually draw them on a week just to see, and then like on a 30-minute time frame, it just like so we draw on a weekly and we go down to low time frames. It might not be on my wick, so that's why you can fix it on the lower time frames. Because watch, if I draw this like here to here, or even sometimes if I really wanted to, because like I said, two all you need is two tabs to make a trend line to me. And then if I go up to 30 minutes, sometimes there won't be a line, but sometimes I like to see if it's like actually a tap. Like look, and then sometimes what I do, I like fix it. I'll fix it so I get it like right on the wick. I pretty much go back to the peak of where I drew this line at, like up here. And then what I would do, since I drew it on a weekly, I'll like fix it. So I make sure that's actually tapping, that's actually on the wick. And then yeah, and then look, boom, like this is a perfect tap. And then it tanks. But like I said, like trend lines, when you combine it with support and resistance, like it's just more confluence. And then this top one right here, look, and then look, these two trend lines they act as a channel, as a range. When we broke this, when price reclaimed this bottom trend line, where did it go? To the top trend line. And then from the top trend line, when price cannot break, where did it go? Back to the bottom trend line. And then not only, and then notice price. When price gets, the closer price gets to a trend line, it starts to what? Consolidate, because it is deciding, am I gonna break this trend line or am I gonna hold and go the other way? At this moment in time, when price approached this trend line, this bearish pressure, what did it do? Just look right here. It consolidated, right? Made this pennant or this bearish flag, and then what happened? It tanks. We open right at 8:30 and it broke above the trend line hard. And not only, and you gotta realize when price breaks a trend line, it's like support resistance. It's just diagonal. I noticed trend line breaks have a giant impulsive move, like versus breaking a horizontal level, right? So like if price breaks a horizontal level, like it'll move some. But when I'm talking about like when price breaks like actual uh trend line, right? It's making a new trend. Like when it broke this, like DC, it went from 245 down to 231. That's what I mean. Like if you catch a trend line and break or breakout or breakdown, they pay more. I'm telling you, they pay more because prices keep dropping and dropping, and it'll drop until it hits like that new trend or that low. That's why I said like when you combine trend lines with support and resistance, like I'm telling y'all. And then another example, like I said on MA that I did today, like I took this trade, right? I drew the trend at the bottom, one, two taps, right? Right above it. I drew the trend on top, one, two taps, extend, and I combine it with the gap support that I told you about, and look what happened. So I know for a fact if we break over 552 and break over this trend line, the price is gonna retest the top, like it's gonna keep going up. And then too, if I really wanted to, like you can add trend lines. You don't have to add trend lines to like if price is trading upside, you don't just have to add them on the downside. So like you see this peak right here. If I wanted to, I could do this trend line, well, this wick to this top wick, because I know if we break over 556, we're gonna hit 561. If we break over that, this top trend line is where it's up here at like 563. So if we break over that and hold, then we have a new all-time high. So pretty much, I'm drawing uh I'm drawing trend zones, trend channels, That's why with that pro, with this tool, yeah, I got this tool back on. With this tool, right? If I do this, it'll make it easier for your eyes to see. Like I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. Like this is like when I say that I'm just doing math, I'm just doing math. And then even from right here, like it's an area where I think price is gonna go. Like it's hard to explain, but usually like this, like I know for a fact. And then this right here, like this is just a triangle. But anyways, that's like trend lines. Like they're easy. Like you literally just have to practice drawing them. Like every time I'm telling you, you just have to practice. Like you literally even on Amazon, I could just like I just go back and this works on any time frame, right? So right now this is 4 hour time frame. Like you can do it on a weekly, you do it on a monthly, but like I said, always start in the higher time frames and find like that one or two trend line, and then just go down. Like don't force the trend line. Like if you don't be one of those who just like I'm not saying you can't do that, but you don't have to draw in every single trend line that you see. Just draw in like the main ones that make sense, right? So for example, on Amazon 4 hour, 1, 2, extend. What happened? Play with this trend line, gap down, right? The top. 1, 2, extend. What happened? Is this a valid trend line? Yes. Why? The tops. Boom, came down, came back up at the trend line. We couldn't close above. What happened? Came down, came back up again, couldn't close above, made a lower high. Mind you, lower high, right? High, lower high. What happened? Gap down and made this lower low and broke this range of 226. So do you see what I mean? And then two, you see this level that this level right here and this trend line? All I gotta do. So I know for a fact if price reclaims in this zone, if we start to hold, then I expect price to come back up in this gap just based off the trend lines and just based off that one level I drew. But do you see how I'm just using math? Like I'm making it simple. Like I'm not gonna draw every trend line that I see. I can like I can do this. I can extend, I can branch off them, which you can't do. Like you have one main trend line. It's like driving a road, right? You drive straight, you drive down a straight road, right? All of a sudden you have two ways to go, left or right, or keep going straight. For the trend lines, they're the same way to me. I can extend them. So like this main one I drew, I can branch off from here, and do this type of here. But like I said, you don't want a lot of stuff on your chart. Like this to me, like if I keep drawing them, it's just gonna turn to Gauss theory. But regardless, that's another topic. That's like advanced stuff. But I just want to show y'all like just the basics of trend line. Like everyone needs to use trend lines. Like if you're not using a trend line, then you're not doing TA to the best that you should. I'm gonna keep it real. If you just solely rely on horizontal support and resistance, then you're gonna lose. Well, you won't lose, but you won't win as much. But you have to combine your support and resistance with trend lines, and that's how you really win. And like I said, for your levels, you can either draw you can either draw a box, a line, or just do both. But yeah, you see, yeah, this junk broke down. So yeah, so this is key. You need to reclaim them both on Amazon. But all right, this is it for me. I'll see you on the next video.